The adoption of a large relief package, which includes $2,000 stimulus checks, is excellent news. In this video, we're bringing you an important update from President Biden's administration. This financial assistance is intended for the millions of Americans who receive VA, SSI, SSDI, and Social Security benefits. Ascertain who is acceptable to obtain the new stimulus checks worth $2,000. We will elucidate the standards and find out if you or your loved ones are eligible, when the deposits will begin to arrive in bank accounts, and when to anticipate receiving this much-needed financial support. We'll provide you with a timeline. Explain the stimulus check distribution process to you, whether the checks are sent by mail, direct deposit, or prepaid debit cards. Knowing the procedure will help you prevent any delays. See the impact this money may have on your life as we go over how it can help with necessary expenses, reduce some of the pandemic's negative effects, and give financial stability. Find out what you can do to guarantee that you receive your stimulus check without any problems. From verifying the status of your payment to updating your personal information with the appropriate agencies, we have you covered. This video is meant to give you information on the new stimulus payments that is easy to comprehend and understand, regardless of whether you get VA, SSI, or Social Security benefits. This additional funding might have a big impact on an important action to assist millions of Americans who are hurting. New one-time $2,000 direct payments to Social Security beneficiaries have been approved by President Joe Biden. In a period of persistently high inflation and economic uncertainty, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Veterans Affairs, or VA benefits. Veterans, the disabled, and seniors are promised significant relief through stimulus checks. Tens of millions of Americans will automatically receive the entire $2,000 direct payment due to the numerous qualifying categories around the country. Over 65 million people get Social Security benefits alone, including retired workers, handicapped people, and survivors. Around 5 million veterans receive VA compensation and pension benefits, and 8 million people receive benefits from the Social Security Administration, SSA, for long-term impairments. Additionally, approximately 8 million people are recipients of the SSI program for low-income seniors and the severely disabled. No extra income thresholds or filing requirements exist. In order to get stimulus money, you must file tax returns. However, if you are already receiving benefits from a qualified federal program, as of December 2023, you will automatically be eligible for the full $22,000 payment. Married couples who meet the requirements for each spouse separately will get a payout of $2,000. For the Biden administration states that the stimulus payments will be distributed in stages over the next 12 weeks, at a total of $4,000 per household, based on the federal benefit scheme that Social Security beneficiaries are enrolled in. SSDI and retirement benefits are anticipated to begin in late June. For SSI beneficiaries, the $2,000 installments are scheduled for early to mid-July for the majority, with those who have eligible children likely receiving their payments in July. Those whose birthdays fall within the first 10 days of the month will receive additional payments from July through September. July's second half, when veterans receiving pension benefits and compensation. Due to the logistical difficulties in providing more than 60 million direct payments through current channels, the stimulus money is expected to be dispersed in payments throughout the course of July and August. Federal television networks. For individuals who already have their bank account information on file, the $2,000 stimulus checks will typically arrive in the same manner as your monthly federal benefits. For recipients receiving payments, the money will be deposited directly into your checking or savings account. In contrast to prior stimulus payments, like those in 2020 and 2021, the new $2,000 checks are not linked to any bank account. Instead, the stimulus will be applied to your Direct Express debit card. If you receive paper checks or monies through another service, the $2,000 will come as a separate payment through those channels. Provided by the IRS, but only via the current federal benefit schemes. because of the terrible effects of the highest rates of inflation in over 40 years on millions of American households receiving federal benefits. These additional stimulus checks were authorized. The yearly rate of inflation reaches 6.3% in May. Despite declining from a peak of more than 9% in mid-2022, sustained inflation for necessities like food, housing, and energy has had a significant negative impact on household budgets, according to the most recent data on the Consumer Price Index. People with disabilities and the elderly have been particularly hard struck by for seniors, and people with disabilities who are facing significant challenges due to white-hot inflation eating away at their fixed incomes. These stimulus payments will act as a vital lifeline. With rising prices and their fixed monthly payments losing immense buying power and forcing many into difficult financial choices, according to AARP's Nancy Lemond, millions of people who have depleted their limited savings could find that this assistance means the difference between being able to put food on the table and going hungry. This challenging scenario has been shared by many disabled people and lower-class veterans struggling to make ends meet. Rewards. The $2,000 direct payments are meant to assist these economically disadvantaged people in managing rising expenses and getting by. In addition to assisting those in need of financial assistance in meeting their expenses, the Biden administration and other economists think that injecting tens of billions of dollars into the economy through these stimulus checks could provide the much-needed stimulus for consumer spending and economic expansion, with more than 60 million payments totaling more than $120 billion being made. In the second half of 2024, the White House predicts that GDP growth will accelerate by 0.4 percentage points and that 450,000 new jobs would be created. This is a financially reasonable method to give some of our most disadvantaged residents much-needed financial relief, while also boosting the economy in the face of higher recession risks through greater consumer demand and corporate activity. Commented economist Mark Zandi, focusing on this stimulus, guarantees effective use of the funds to the most vulnerable who are likely to spend it fast. However, some argue that increasing federal spending on consumer demand is a bad idea given the current high rate of inflation, as it could worsen the national debt load and lead to more price pressure. Ahead of the 2024 campaign and election cycle, analysts view President Biden and the Democrats' decision to implement the new stimulus payments as a calculated move to win over important voters, especially older Americans who have been negatively impacted by rising inflation. Democratic messaging portrays the payments as aiding lower-class Americans and the disabled. Republicans accuse them of being reckless re-election bribes that raise inflation through deficit spending, while Democrats support veterans' causes. The back-of-the-envelope estimate is that, yes, this partisan conflict plays out, and the payments start to arrive in bank accounts during the summer. The political fallout might be substantial going into 2024. That a recipient household of two would receive $4,000 in cold hard cash, which would be sufficient to influence voter opinion and maybe change thousands of votes in important battleground states with aging populations. There is proof that stimulus checks increase consumer confidence and presidential approval ratings at minimum of 10 in the short term, while the political. There is no doubt that one component of the tough economic times faced by low-income veterans, the disabled, and struggling elderly could benefit from the arrival of $2,000 from the federal government. The implications and potential effects of this could be hotly contested. The cost of giving that relief will ultimately fall on American taxpayers for years to come. It will serve as a crucial lifeline and significantly improve their financial situation. The expansive stimulus package is the Biden administration's most recent attempt to immediately increase funding for pockets of Americans experiencing financial hardship due to rising inflation and unpredictability in the economy. This comes after bolstered child tax credit disbursements in 2021 and relief measures earlier in Biden's administration that furnished stimulus checks as high as $14 per person. However, this new $2,000 payment plan is distinct in its by directing the funds through the already existing Social Security SSDI, SSI, and VA channels, rather than the IRS. The laser-focused approach targets specific federal beneficiary groups seen as particularly vulnerable to rising costs, eroding their fixed incomes. This ensures that the funds reach the intended recipients efficiently and does not require them to file. By using our tax returns, we're eliminating the middleman and guaranteeing that these emergency funds reach the veterans, elderly, and disabled individuals who most need them.